What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. My name's Matt. Let's talk fishing. I actually fished yesterday afternoon. Before we get into that, I spent yesterday afternoon doing WalleyeFest stuff. I was up in Pulaski. I went to all of our sponsors up in Pulaski. We have, of course, Bob Johnson, Chevy, and Ford, both dealerships right there off of Route 81. I put some signage up. All Season Sports, Fat Nancy's, and Sonny's down in Port Ontario. All three of those big tackle shops have sponsored a bingo square. And I'm going to tell you right now that not enough people are utilizing these bingo squares. These local businesses, and we all want to support local, right? I mean, that's the point of doing something like this. This sponsor bingo program that I came up with is a way to get our customers that we all exist in a digital world with the app and everything. It allows us to use the app to get people to move through time and space in real time and physically go into these businesses. Again, there are a few of them, a handful, 5 or 6, I think, that the bingo squares. You just got to go online to their website and you'll see their QR code, and boom, it's right there. Scan it and you're good. You got to scan it in the app. You open the app camera, scan the QR code, and you're good to go. That being said, I talked to each of the 3 shops up in Pulaski, and they've had a few people up there, but you know, I picked up the rod and reel combo. It's a beautiful Mach 1 bait casting combo from Lou's that Fat Nancy's donated. All Season Sports, right there next to Burn Dairy, they're putting up $500 worth of cash or worth of prizes. Sonny's put up 2 really cool snap weight kits for all of you trollers out there that are snap weighting and using the 50x2 method of precision trolling, you know, and their little mini shark cannonballs, which the shark cannonballs are Sonny's claim to fame, which all 3 of these places are absolutely jam-packed with tackle. And even though it's in Pulaski, people think, oh, that's just Lake Ontario trout and salmon stuff. No. That is not true at all. They've got everything: cold water, warm water, all different species, bass, walleye, perch. They all have live bait. They certainly have a large selection of trolling stuff. And again, trolling stuff doesn't have to be just for trout and salmon. All of the big water trollers up on the eastern basin of Lake Ontario that are looking for walleyes up through the St. Lawrence River, they've got everything you could possibly want. They're all great tackle shops, fully stocked. And sponsor bingo is so simple and so easy, and it's free for all of you. You know, it's all you got to do is go there. That's it. That's all it costs you, and you get entered into whatever that bingo squares prize package is. And all the prize packages are listed. All you got to do is click any of the squares, all the squares in your app, and you can see where it's you can see exactly what their prize pack is. I spent a lot of time making sure they're all accurate. They've got addresses, hours of operation, phone numbers, but you know, the clock is ticking. Today's the 14th, so we've got just about 3 weeks left, just shy of 3 weeks till the Derby, and it just seems to me that this is there's over $6,000 in prizes in the bingo game, just waiting to be claimed. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your buns in gear and let's get out there and support our local businesses. These businesses are, most all of them are first-time sponsors of our event. They're all, you know, we're looking to see how much our group, our anglers, go and support local. And this is going to tell us exactly who, when, where, how, and moving forward, this is going to be the calling card of how we get sponsors, and sponsors help with the cash and prize packages, and how much we give out. It's all based on participation. The more people participate, the more sponsors want to participate and advertise to these customers. And it's a big circle. It goes round and round. And the more we get in, the more we get out. And that's the absolute truth. That circle is the circular flow is powerful. It's no different, and we've talked about this many times if you followed me on my YouTube channel. What you give out is what you get back. You couldn't expect to lose if you were a sports team. You couldn't expect to lose all year long and then be in the championship and win the big game at the end. Or you couldn't expect to, where is this lady going? Holy shit, lady, get off my ass. Wow. I'm doing 65 and a 55 to begin with, and she's right up tight to me, wanting to go around me. Man. Go. You're in that much of a hurry. Now she's going to sit back there. Crazy. But that circular flow, I've talked about it. I talk about it in my book. I've talked about it many times, and I truly believe what you give out directly comes back. If you only give out drama, then you're only going to get back drama. If you only give out negativity, you're only getting back negativity. And the reverse of that is true. You give out positivity, you give out good vibes, that's what naturally attracts and comes back to you. There is a scientific principle there, I'm sure. But for a non-scientific version, it's just what you think about comes about. What you put out, you get back. And we want our local businesses to thrive because we're local. And so if they go under, then we got no place to go, And so we talk about supporting local. This is how we do it. And this is our put up or shut up moment. Like I say, last year, the people that I'm not going to say right or wrong, but I changed the measuring stations last year from what they had historically been at tackle shops or businesses that were off the water, and we moved that to on the water, so it was easier for people to pull up in their boat and get their fish entered. Now this year we switched to this all digital format in the app, so you're doing it right out on the water. It doesn't cost you any time in your day to run a big fish in and risk maybe not catching another big fish or somebody in your party, because if one person caught a big one, everybody had to stop fishing because you had to hustle that fish in and get it entered. That's not the case anymore. It's done right live on the spot. And so last year when people were saying to me, hey, Matt, how come you're not supporting the local tackle shops? And this is the program that I came up with to do just that. And I think it's a great plan, honestly. I put a lot of time and effort into it, a lot of critical thinking to figure out how we would do it, and got my developers to design it exactly the way I thought it was going to work. And it's working that way. And there are a couple people out there that are making it their point to be entered in every single one of them. Kudos to them. I'm telling you, they're going to walk away with a buttload of prizes by entering just a fish, let alone worrying about if it's the biggest fish of the Derby. Some of these boards with only a few people in it, you might not have to enter something that's very big to win that prize pack. So this keeps everybody engaged. It gives everybody way more than just the top 25 chances. That's for sure. So let's get out there and support. So my day was yesterday, and I ended up, so I did the Pulaski Loop, and I ended up over at Mike Urima's at I1 Baits in Phoenix. I know some people have said they've had a little difficult time finding Mike's place. Well, there's a big bright yellow WalleyeFest sponsor sign out in front of his place now. I know these next 2 weeks he's going to have much more expanded hours there at his shop at his house. So you go in there, it's a little overwhelming. I mean, he's got so many baits, so many blade baits, other stuff too. It's not just blade baits, not just his blade baits. But boy, you look through his color selection and they just, every time I go there, there's other ones that I look at, I'm like, ooh, oh man, they just, the color spectrum choices are really incredible. So, you know, get over, see Mike, get yourself a few for opening day. You can never have too many I-1 blade baits. At least that's in my personal opinion. I've had a couple people ask me about apps. When I talked to Rick here a month ago, the shop is going to be open starting the 20th, which I think is this weekend. So look forward to that. Guy driving down the sidewalk in Jamesville with a fishing rod between his legs, riding a dirt bike. No helmet, no nothing. Must be he's going to go down Fish Butternut Creek. It's amazing what you see on the roads nowadays. When I was a kid, if you took your wheeler up the road, boy, there was a cop right there. He was going to put you in handcuffs and take your wheeler away and all that fun stuff. At my house, we see things go by. There's kids. There's a whole flock of kids that are riding around on what we used to call mini bikes. Those like little flat, fat tire mini bikes that had a Briggs & Stratton motor in it. No lights, no license plate, no, half the time, no helmets. They're zipping up and down the roads. I'm like, man, you know, all these e-bikes and whatnot. It's crazy how many things are on our roadways nowadays. And if you're not paying attention, somebody's going to get hurt. So when I did get home, weather was beautiful. And I went out, uncovered the boat at the dock, made a few casts until my wife got home, and she had a little snafu the night before. She went out and made a few casts and got hung on the bottom. So I ended up re-spooling her reel for her. She's all set up with some fresh Cortland master braid. Tied a new swim bait on for her. I was tossing around a jerk bait, and I did have a pickerel come up and take a swipe at it right at the boat as I was lifting it out of the water. He didn't stick. That would have been the first fish of the year off the dock. And in my house, between my wife and I, that's a yearly competition to see who's going to catch the first fish of the year off the dock. And so far, neither of us have done that. I haven't seen much life yet around. I haven't seen any bait, which you'll normally start to see this time of year. You'll see those schools trickling by, whether they're buckeyes or shiners, the little ones. I haven't seen any of that yet. Water temp is 40 degrees in the river, 40.5. So you're right there. There are a bunch of guys out bass fishing this weekend when it was nice. I didn't see anybody actually catch anything. And we had a huge caddis hatch coming off last night. I could see fish out in the main river coming up and splashing the surface. I didn't see anything close to me, but I mean, some of these caddis were at least an inch long, maybe a little bit more, and they were big and they were buzzing on the surface, and there was fish. I don't know what they were. I would just see a splash every once in a while out in the main river. Could be anything, honestly. And everything in there will eat those bugs. And it wasn't a huge hatch, but there was enough of them that you could see them all over the surface. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And my work will calm down here a little bit, and I'll be back out in the mornings. This is a big push week for me this week. I got 2 jobs I got to get done this week, and then I'm good. I'm not good, but then I can go back to probably not working weekends and getting out in the morning and get back to my mornings. I'm dying to get out and do some perch fishing. I really want to do a little test perch derby one day, maybe that last weekend in April, and collect all those perch that we can go out and catch. Maybe 20 or 30 people or 20 boats, something like that, and we'll just do it so we can do some testing in the app before the derby goes live. And I'd like to take all those fish and fillet them and use those perch that we catch for the free fish fry on Sunday, May 4th at Brewerton Speedway for the award ceremony. So, all right, it's 15 minutes. I think that's enough for today. Still have not heard back from DEC on the status of our tagged fish competition. With every passing day, it's looking less and less like that's going to happen. I don't know what other recourse I have. I've emailed them. I've called them. The phone number just goes to a recording. There's not even an option of talking to someone. So we'll see. But I'm efforting. I don't want that to go away. I spoke with the great people out at Krenzer's this morning about any ideas we could come up with instead of a tagged fish program, that would add that same kind of excitement. I'm working my brain. I'm trying. So I'm open to suggestions. We've got a little bit of money sitting there in sponsor money that we could do something with. I'm not quite sure, so we'll see. But stay tuned to hear about the tagged fish competition. We'll see what happens. All right, everybody, have a great Tuesday. Keep your tip up.